Hello, welcome back to Calamity Crofter, and welcome back to part 2. And today reassembling the David Brown, get the air filter assembly back on. So in part 1 I went over obviously having to drill the bolts out. Now there was one bolt hole I didn't go over because it took a long time to drill out, is this one here. So I use standard cobalt bits to drill the holes out, and they're known as M35 bits. So what I actually had to do to drill that hole, I actually had to buy an even harder drill bit, a cobalt bit M42, and even then it took 2 drill bits to actually make the hole. So I've now got the hole made, and I've retapped it like I showed you the other ones. So it's just a case of now just need to reassemble. So that's what I'm going to do just now. I have the bolts here. I'm going to start reassembling, and you can see what it's meant to look like as opposed to the picture that I showed you before. As I say, if you remember, in the first part also I showed you that basically it was only held with one bolt to hold the whole assembly, and then it was a case of how it was fitted through the bonnet that was kind of, if you like, supporting it in other ways. But my fear was that the vibration or the movement of the tractor could eventually make it go through the radiator. So this is why I've had to fix this as a priority. So let's get on with this, and then we'll see if we can get this sorted out. I did extend these, as like I said to you. I've fixed the bottoms of them, and I've welded extensions onto the end of them, and I've painted bits on them just to make them look a bit better. I will probably go over the tractor again at some later point to make it look better. At this moment in time, I need it to be functional, so it's a case of just trying to do the necessary fixes just to keep it right. So I'll carry on doing that just now. So if I get the bolts in, you may remember I said to you this piece was actually not even attached to the front end of the tractor at all. It was just lying in the front here. So quite nice to actually see it being used properly again. So now I've got this piece to go back on. Okay, so this piece should go on like so. Okay. So that's back on, that's how it should be. That's the wiring harness for the headlights in place. That's the battery terminals there. It's then ready. So that's ready to go back on. So all that's needed now is the bonnet to go back on, and then we can use it. My next thing is, obviously, I think I said before, there's obviously a few issues I found on the tractor, bits pieces that could do with being replaced or fixed or whatever. So I've actually located somebody who's able to help me with parts for one of these, and I'm going to go down and see the guy. His name is Robert, and he's going to help me out with getting a few bits and pieces for the tractor. So hopefully I'll be able to get a few more bits done to it. But as I said earlier on, I'm trying to just get the tractor functional just now so that I can use it, and then I'll spend more time on it later on, probably during the winter months, where I'll do more bits and pieces to it to just make it look better. But that's an important piece just now, because as you can see, it's quite a bulky item, and if that's only got one bolt holding it and a bit of pipe that moves around, the potential for damage to the radiator is obviously there, and that could be quite a costly fix. So I'm trying to avoid that if I can. So that should hopefully resolve that issue. What I did do with the air filter as well is I did actually manage to locate parts for it and repair that, so that's now all functional as well. So that is now complete. So hopefully that should be me good for a little while with this. But as I say, there's more things to do yet. So I hope you found that useful, and I'll hopefully see you next time.